For today's cup of coffee,
Cup of coffee.
I found an interesting story on Daily Mail. And this is one of these that can be very easily overlooked or discounted.
Okay.
But you've got to dig a little bit deeper on some of these things. And this is by Matthew Phelan, and it was published on June the 11th, 2024. Of course, it was the 11th.
Loves it.
And UFO mystery may be result of advanced stealth civilization living on Earth among us, say Harvard scientists. Let that
Say
sink
what
in.
again?
Yeah, let that sink in just a minute. And I'm
Stealth civilization.
living amongst us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of us that have speculated about this. There's a lot of legends about this. I don't know that it has to be either one or the other, because over the past couple of years, there's been a whole lot of news coverage, disclosure, whatever, about UFOs, UAPs, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something that you really don't hear that many people talking about. And of course, it says skeptics have long questioned why UFOs, if they are alien craft, would visit Earth so often. But two Harvard scientists suspect the beings may have been here all along.
Like from the beginning?
It says in a new research paper, and I have not read the paper yet, they estimate that there is a 1 in 10 chance the true solution to the UFO mystery could be cryptoterrestrial. So that's a new term.
Okay.
I mean, we think about cryptids as being unknown species of animals or creatures or something like that. But this term is specific, as far as I understand it, to beings that we would consider alien,
Right.
as in intelligent. You know, it's not like, I don't know that Bigfoot is not intelligent. We don't know that.
It could be.
And it says that this cryptoterrestrial term means that they belong to an advanced species hiding on Earth. And while this notion may sound unlikely on first hearing, many observers are persuaded that it is at least conceivable. And the team wrote in their new study, not least because whole swaths of our planet remain virtually unexplored and uncharted. And that is true. Because most of what is water,
Yeah.
the oceans.
I mean, the ocean goes thousands upon thousands feet deep.
And that we don't even have the technology at this point. I can't remember who it was. It may have been Joe Schmo, or it may have been Blue, excuse me, that was explaining to me that the physics, that it's easier for them to create rockets to go into space than to create craft to explore the deep ocean.
Which is weird, because you would think that it would be opposite.
Yeah, it's not.
Because, like, you know, you got to worry about shit imploding up there in space, too.
Yeah. Well, the ocean, it definitely, and God help them, that crew on that little Titanic sub thingy, that was horrific.
I forgot about that. That was rough.
And that there's somebody else that's a millionaire, billionaire, or something air.
Wanting to do it again?
Yeah.
What? For real? I was just shitting around. That's for real?
No, that is for real. That there's somebody else that's wanting to make another craft, and hopefully this time we'll do it better.
There's not even submarines. Like high-tech submarines that are incapable of going to those depths.
Yeah. Yeah. And it says in the report here, with 80% of our oceans unmapped and still revealing ancient mysteries like, now forgive me if I mispronounce this, I could just call it the Japanese Atlantis. Let's just leave it at that. That's how it translates. And that's what our picture is today. Not to mention unexplored caves and the dark side of the moon. And they argue there's plenty of space for a stealth civilization. And that's something, you know, I think his name, was it Graham Hancock is one of these that he had a series, and I can't remember what channel it was on, that he was exploring some of these ruins. And there's no way that, as far as cave idiots, there's no way that they could have created those things.
No.
And people just want to, they don't want to think about it. There's a lot of theories that there were other civilizations prior to ours, and that the planet has been reset several times. But I don't know.
This is fucking me up. What is the truth?
We don't know yet.
I need people to stop spreading lies and just speak blunt truth.
Well, when people speak blunt truth, people get pissed.
Oh,
and
well.
a lot of times the blunt truth is right there, and people don't want to believe it, because we do have so much cloak and dagger bullshit that's going on right now. You know, and especially with the AI and the pictures and different things, you have to please pray for the spirit of discernment. That's what's going to help us out. And so it says that, quote, if another intelligent species had inhabited Earth or Mars long before Homo sapiens, it is possible that we could have no idea, the trio note in their article, which is set to appear in the journal Philosophy and Cosmology this June. Well, no wonder I haven't read it yet. It hasn't come out yet. It says the work is a collaboration between scientists who have independently tried to make sure that all viable theories are considered for the UFO mystery, which has seen a major effort for government declassification in recent months. And that's like that one man who had interviewed David Grush, and I'll have to remember his name because Coulthart, I think, is his name. Mm. And I had listened to a video by him a couple of nights ago, and he was discussing as far as how hard the government is to, trying to prevent anybody from finding out the truth. I'll put a link to the video. And I didn't realize this man is a renowned journalist that talked to David Grush. And he's on NewsNation now. You can find that on YouTube, probably other places also.
Okay.
But he was speaking at a conference of people that they weren't normies. They were big brain people.
Yeah.
And this information is there, but you still have to really search for it. Because it's all smoke and mirrors and distraction and worrying about what Prince Harry and the Kardashians and all that bullshit.
Okay, but if you find it, how do you know that it's truth still?
Well, that's a good question. That's where you pray over it. You really do. Any of this stuff. And it says that Congress, the Pentagon, and others in government are now more commonly referred to UFOs as UAP for unidentified aerial or anomalous phenomena. Because anything that the government names, they make it as cumbersome as possible.
They do. Just make it simple.
It says multiple
Flying
regions.
buddies. Flying buddies.
Yeah, really. Multiple regions on Earth and near Earth were cited in the new study as worthwhile candidates for investigating the chance of a cryptoterrestrial species secret base. One region, dubbed the Alaskan Triangle, is a remote and sparsely populated area between the cities of Anchorage, Juneau, and something else I'm not even going to try. Utica something. There you go. That the authorities described.
What was that?
Described as a prominent hotspot for UFOs or UAPs, as well as other oddities. The triangle, they noted, has been ground zero for over 20,000 unexplained disappearances since the 1970s, above and beyond its penchant for UFO sightings.
Love that. Okay.
And more concretely, the researchers pointed to a series of intriguing archaeological finds that suggest the existence of ancient civilizations that would not only predate any known advanced species, but may still exist in hiding. They described a massive submerged stone structure discovered by a diver off the coast of Japan, and that some marine geologists argue or might still have let's start that over. That some marine geologists argue might be the remains of a 5,000-year-old pyramid from a Japanese Atlantis.
Okay.
Now, in this picture, these stones are ginormous.
Yeah.
And that is not a product of erosion. Nature does not like, as far as angular things.
No. Well, unless rock is broken.
Yeah, but even then, you look at the weathering of rock.
You're right.
And it's usually not at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, it's not sharp.
Uh-uh.
That's usually the sharp angels. The angels? Sharp angels. Sharp angles are man-made or made by some other...
Yeah, more geometric type things.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say that sound cannot be angular. Sound waves certainly can be angular.
Well, I mean, just as far as actual physical, structures and stuff, they're not usually.
Yeah.
And it says that habitable regions underground also remain to be explored, some with the right conditions to support life. And we had watched a video there a couple of nights ago, and it was about a nephilim goddess.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And I'll have to go back and try to find that. That may have been on Mysterious Middle East. I bet it was. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Because they've got an awesome channel if you're not familiar with them. And that she was not mean to the humans. But again, it was a matter of her producing other beings that were more hybrid.
And it wasn't her place to do that.
No, it wasn't. The body structure that she had reminded me very much of the Venus of Willendorf.
Like the lady coming out, in the
No,
painting?
that's Venus on half shell. That was many thousands of years later. This was the Venus of Willendorf is supposed to be a prehistoric little stone statue. It's a booby doll. It's a little stone booby doll, because I used to laugh about that in art class, and I'm like, what if it was just these cave idiots and they're joking around, and then this is the only thing that's left of their civilization?
Uh-huh. Do you know how many people think that now? Like, they're like, of all the things that's going to survive, it's going to be the stupid shit.
Right. Because it's always the stupid shit. But anyhow, the Nephilim creature, very similar body shape, which is totally not what society wants women to look like now.
Oh, well. Oh, that's what I had to say to that.
Well, I'm
just
saying
standards.
that was there for a reason at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a most interesting. If I can remember which one it was, I'll try to look through there and provide you with a link for that also. And it says that the team wrote the internal structure of the Earth is still mostly a mystery. And I can't remember if it was the Hopi, maybe, that had the legend of the ant people. We covered that years ago.
We did.
And that they had costumes and stuff that they still, ceremonial costumes to honor the ant people that took them underground during some kind of cataclysmic event.
Oh. No, I don't like bugs, though.
And so,
like, if ant people try to get us, sure, thank you, but I don't like bugs.
Anyhow, and it says, for instance, it was recently found that the Mantle Transition Zone, which was 255 to 410 miles underground, acts as a large reservoir of water. that's pretty interesting. And they speculated that it is entirely possible that hundreds of miles below humanity, another hominid species, even a branch of Homo sapiens, could have adapted to live underground, although it would likely scarcely resemble us. There's also that I've heard the legends of, as far as this land beneath the earth, that they had some kind of light source.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know.
Fire. That's a light source.
Well, no, this was something else. It was almost like a second sun. And stunning photos taken by Luis Guerrera, a resident in the central Mexico city of something else I can't pronounce, last year said have fueled similar speculation of a hidden UFO base beneath the country's volcano, not going to try to pronounce that, which has become a UFO hotspot. I'll have the link to the article so you all can pronounce these.
Okay.
I would rather just appear as an idiot rather than a blithering idiot. And other major...
One slightly worse than another.
Yeah, really. Other major candidates the researchers put forward include long-term bases deep underwater in ocean trenches around the dark side of the moon, whether built by an ancient advanced terrestrial race or our long-term extraterrestrial co-inhabitants. And they say that while researchers working with NASA's LROC moon mapping mission have debunked the theory that one captivating lunar image depicts a 3.5-mile alien tower, much of the dark side of the moon remains unexplored and may yet hold such a discovery. We don't know. We don't know.
No, we don't.
And the researchers noted, of course, the limits of our knowledge provides no particular argument for the cryptoterrestrial hypothesis. Crucially, they added, it means that we must have humility and realize neither can we dismiss it just because it contradicts the standard narrative of history. That's kind of huge.
That's weird.
And the new research follows prior exploratory work by the authors working separately. The study's co-author, Dr. Michael Masters, a professor of biological anthropology at Montana Technical University, had previously written a book arguing that the beings piloting UFOs might be temporalist.
The fuck
Time travelers. It means fucking time travelers.
Just say time travel.
Well, he's got a PhD, so he's got to use those $1.50 words. He paid thousands of dollars to be able to do that. And he says that the phenomenon may be our own distant descendants coming back through time to study us in their own evolutionary past.
What?
And now, see, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Time travel, it would unravel everything.
Well, maybe there's a way to time travel without disrupting stuff.
Other than to look at it, rather than being able to interact with it, that's the only way. You know, I mean, because you know how people, they would screw something up. It says, using his evolutionary biology experience as an anthropologist, Dr. Masters made the case that the so-called gray aliens from UFO abduction lore resemble what time-traveling future humans might evolve to look like in a more high-tech society. Well, that's disturbing.
We have big heads, little bodies.
Yeah.
Black eyes.
I mean, what would be the point? What would be the point?
If that's how we're supposed to evolve into, that's a God question.
Yeah. Yeah. And his co-author, psychologist Tim Lomas, with Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, had just recently laid out the full case for more traditional extraterrestrial hypothesis In another article of the same journal, Philosophy and Cosmology, earlier this year, Brendan Case, the associate director for the research at Harvard's Institute for Quantitative Social Science, joined them in their call for scientists to pursue the cryptoterrestrial UFO hypothesis. The hope is that we can begin a new dialogue and get past some of the stigma, Dr. Masters said, and not to have to defend this as science because it is very scientific, end quote. And this is one of the things that has been going around for a long time. Why were people not allowed to even have discussions about these things? I mean, that's stupid. Of course, that's academia. They are usually so far up their own asses.
Yeah.
That it's ridiculous that they have some kind of God complex, that if they don't know it, or that they know everything, and if they don't know it, it's not real or it's unknowable. So I'm not a fan of that. So, but the fact that they are opening up the dialogues to some of these things and the possibilities, and they had to, because where you had people like Grush, and you've had all these other people that have for years been working to be able to openly ask questions, and that you've got elected people that are being blocked from getting answers.
And it's like, why do they not want to spread the truth?
We don't know. That's a very good question. And it could be that if these crypto terrestrials exist, that they may not be our friends. Now, this very well could go back to the reptilians.
Yeah. And the reptilians, like, they're some mean, evil entity.
Reportedly.
Like, what?
As far as to use humans as slave species. I've heard everything.
Food.
I've heard that it's and food and just different things like that.
We don't know. We don't know what the fuck is actually out there. And I think, to an extent, people don't know because they know it would completely rock their world and freak their shit out.
Right. Well, welcome to the dawn of the age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius.
Because the shit's being rocked.
We already knew aliens existed. I'm just waiting for the time that the UFO comes, parks up, just pulls up in our driveway. I don't know what the fuck is wrong.
We don't know. But the fact that, again, this is in the media, it has never been totally out of the eye of the conscious. It's like I said, you've got people that they're distracted by the celebrity or the this or the that or the whatever bullshit of the day that they are using as a distraction technique.
Yeah.
But ever so often you will have articles like this, and I try to keep my eye out for such things because those are the ones you're like, that's significant. So, final thoughts?
Aliens. I don't know. It would be, if these are like the lizard people that they're or that we mentioned there, those beings that have always been here, well, that wouldn't surprise me if it was the reptilians, if they're getting ready to expose them.
We don't know. We've got a lot of stuff that's going on right now.
That is true.
We do. Pardon me, I'm going to flingable. There it goes. We have cats.
It's a bag of popcorn that she uses.
It is. It is a bag of popcorn.
Oldest kid and his wife, they ate all my popcorn.
It's okay. Well, I told you.
That's what I get for taking it down there and then forgetting about it.
Well, yeah. So anyhow, if you've had experiences with the paranormal or supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, tinfoil hat stuff, and this new term, cryptoterrestrials, it's a mouthful.
I guess this is step one on exposing all this shit.
Oh, we've been little by little. They've been dripping this information for a long time.
Well, shit, I wish they would just go ahead and give us a glass
They
full.
can't. They can't, because it would cause mass panic. Truly mass panic. Yeah. So, anyhow.
Well, for the ones that's not going to pay attention, they're going to go into a panic anyway.
Well,
so,
this stuff is not... a lot of people attribute what's going on now to stupidity. No. There is a vast difference between stupidity and evil.
I'm talking about the ones who are stupid.
Well,
the ones that refuse to pay attention.
Well, that's where you get into that about Plato's cave, and that when dude went out into the sunlight and came back, they attacked and killed him. That's been historically what happens to messengers. Anyhow, email cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. Outro.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, most of all subscribe, and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Check her out on BitChute and Rumble, where Landa's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, where Landa, COCWS. It's like a radio station call sign. It's pretty cool. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good...
Yeah. Know that you are loved.
Aliens.
We need to pray one for another. Totally, completely. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.